think she's got just one more day in the States before heading back over the pond, where she gets to spend quite a bit of time now on nearly an annual basis. Sports director Alyssa Orange with us here from Pig Trail Nation. What's up, Alyssa? Where are you headed tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm headed to Italy tomorrow. Yes, very excited. 10-day trip over there, flying into Venice, then driving up to Cortina, over to Milan, and spending some time there. May or may not be doing a year-out trip from the Winter Olympics. Wink, wink, wink.
Wow, that's fun. So it was France this year, last year, Italy this year. Does that mean Greece is coming up in 2026 and maybe Bosnia in 2027? You might just keep going farther east until you really don't want to go any farther east than that?
Yeah, hey, my sister and my brother-in-law went to Slovenia and said it was amazing.
Nice.
People have told me that Croatia is really nice, so adding them all to the list.
Croatian food is some of my favorite food. That's for sure. And you got Series A's going. There's so many soccer games, whatever town you want to go to, but I don't know if that's on your list.
Yeah, well, we're going to try to do as much as we can. We're going to be NBC's got an itinerary for us, but we're going to be trying to just kind of get as much as we can over there. So if I can hit up a soccer game,
Juventus, there's a couple Americans that you'll be able to see in the World Cup. They play for Juventus. They're in Turin, but I don't know where they'll be. But if you get a chance to see them, that would be a good one.
Okay. All right, I'm going to look up some schedules for you, Matt.
And their nickname is the Old Lady. So, I mean, they're my favorite. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So wait, what city are the Winter Olympics in next year?
In Milan and Cortina.
Okay.
So they're going to split because that's about 5 hours between the two. And so they'll have, they're super spread out. There's going to be a couple events in little towns between the two cities as well. But a lot of, obviously, your alpine skiing, bobsledding, all of those things are going to be up in the mountains. And then you're going to have a little bit more of your curling and ice skating and such in Milan.
So there really won't be much of a local bent to it, like you were able to cover some Razorbacks at the Summer Olympics this last year. Not too many Razorbacks at the Winter Olympics.
No, I don't think so. I don't know how many Arkansans are going to be in the Winter Olympics, but we're going to try and figure that out.
Well, cool.
Hey, so I guess you won't be here, but your spirit will be with this basketball team going to Austin on Wednesday, and then you come back home for a couple. Where do we stand now? How are we feeling? There's 2 wins now. It does feel like if we can find a way to go on the road and get one, maybe we have a little momentum. The starters played amazing. Best game that I think that this team has played as far as complete game on the year. Something to build on, or is it a one-off thing?
No, I really think it's something to build on, but they've got to do it the right way because I think you're right. Best game that they've played, being able to put together what they did on the road and get the win and rub. But I think a lot of it had to do with the motivation, the emotions, and funneling those emotions in the right way. That's specifically DJ Wagner, Adu Thiero, and Zvonimir Visic were able to do, and then get their teammates to rally behind them because how much that game meant to them. Now you got to go on to Texas, into Austin, and you're not going to be in that same environment. So can you kind of funnel that energy and the momentum yourself? You're not feeding off this crowd that has been waiting for weeks for you guys to come into their arena. Can you find it within yourself? And that's the one thing that we've always asked about this team. Where is that internal motivation coming from? So can they pull from what they did on Saturday and take it down to Austin with them and get a win on the road? Because you've got to start getting wins. I think if you were to look at where they are right now with that win over Kentucky, can you go 5-5 and still make the NCAA tournament? Can you go 4-6 in this final stretch and make the NCAA tournament? Well, you got to get something going, and it's a lot easier to stack wins on wins once you get that momentum going. So you've got to find a way to say, okay, now we know how to win a basketball game, right? You're not making the same mistakes you're making against Oklahoma. Can we put together a full game like they did on the road in Kentucky and take it to Austin and see what happens?
Well, you're getting production from Big Z, and I think that's a huge aspect of of at least winning 2 of the last 3 and hopefully moving forward with some more victories. And I think the motivation strictly now is, hey, we'd like to keep playing into March because you got another, I think it's a month and 4 days until the regular season ends. So there's just not a lot of basketball left. And I'm assuming these guys like to play a lot of basketball. In order for that to happen, look, they're going to have contributions from both Trevin Brazile and Jonas Adu. Maybe not in the same game all the time, but on a every once in a while. It's just you need something from those two because I don't know how often Z will be on the court for 25 minutes a game.
Yeah.
And Adu just, flat out was a 0 against Kentucky. Brazile has been, it looked like he was coming around in December and January. It's a different thing playing against SEC teams. Maybe he's not the same guy still from that ACL injury a couple years ago. That's a story that stands the test of time. But they're going to have something from both of those guys in this next month.
Yeah, they are. And you're absolutely right because, now Big Z is kind of developed into that centerpiece of their post-game play, and you had hoped for a long time that it was going to be Jonas Adu. We just don't know what's going on with him. And then Trevin Brazile, I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. I want to see him be more physical. I want to see him be more aggressive. But you're right. It could very much be that ACL injury just makes him a little more timid, and he just isn't the same basketball player. But you're not going to be able to play a Vicic that long. You've got to be able to have one of those guys come in, and I would like it to be Jonas Adu. I just don't know how many more times you continue to say, okay, go in there and give us some production, and then he doesn't, and then you keep going back to it, which stinks, because you really had some high hopes for him. But I think if I had to put money on it, Trevin Brazile has to be the guy of the two that's going to come in and pick up on that physicality that we know that he has. We just haven't seen it. But if I got to put money on one or the other, I'm putting it on Trevin Brazile.
Yeah, there's an interesting question here from JT on the text line at 877-377-6963. Because of Arkansas's inability to score consistently leading up to the Kentucky game, there's this thought, well, you got to slow the game down. Plus, you don't have a deep bench, so getting into a back and forth and running the floor might not be the direction to go. But that's how they played against Kentucky, and it looked like they played like that in a very confident way, and free and easy. And I think one of the main reasons that they beat UK wasn't just outside shooting. It was beating Kentucky down the court. Steals, turnovers, rebounds. They just beat them down the court. They look comfortable in that role. So hopefully they can get the tempo going again, because I didn't really think that would be the way to go. And that also goes to the idea of hopefully this 89-point performance at Rupp is not a one-off thing.
Right. And I also think, too, as silly as this might sound, and it kind of feels weird saying it, it's almost like if they play fast like that, if they can play where your defense is turning into offense and you've got a lot more fast breaks and you're just taking the basketball and you're going down and you're scoring and you're not spending so much of the shot clock on your side of the basket of the court, it's almost like they overthink it when they do that. Does that make sense? It's like don't even give them time to think about the offense. Just go create offense. And sometimes when they're down, the shot clock is winding down, and they've got, it's almost things are forced or things are rushed, or it just feels like they're not in sync. Right? That's where mistakes happen. Just go play basketball. Go be free. And if it means playing fast, play fast. I feel like that sounds a little silly to say, but that's what I saw against Kentucky.
So how is it you're going to watch the Super Bowl while you're in Italy? What's the time differential? How are you going to pull this off? Because I'm sure there'll be some Italian broadcast. Maybe you want to listen to that.
Yeah. I haven't done the time difference yet. I think Paris was 6 hours.
It's about 6 to 7 hours. Yeah, it's be about midnight.
This one is probably about 7 or 8 hours. Yeah. So I don't really know how we're going to do that. I haven't. I'm sure that my travel companions and I will figure that out and find it somewhere. even if it's a replay the next morning at breakfast. I could do Super Bowl and eggs. I'd be cool with that.
Hey, it wouldn't be that bad at all. Now I've got an idea for what I can make, because I'll be at the Georgia game in the morning when we play in Athens next Sunday, and it's not like I'll be able to make anything. Just a quick scrambled eggs, some omelets.
There you go.
That could work for us. Yes, good idea.
Super Bowl and eggs.
Thank you very much for that idea. Enjoy the trip. We'll miss you next week.
Thank you.
We get you in a couple weeks, or when's the next time?
Couple weeks. What is that? The 7th, 18th?
Yeah. Be baseball. We'll be in baseball season by then.
Oh my! I'm going to miss opening weekend, y'all. I don't want to talk about it.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football to NBA, college basketball to NHL and UFC, BetOnline is your number one sports betting source for the new year. From every touchdown to three-pointer and hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here.